In this video, we're going to walk through the pipeline feature inside of Pluto. Now, at this point, most of the major CRMs on the market use a similar style pipeline feature. And the reason being is that it's become a very popular way to organize leads, contacts, and tasks. It's visual, it's right in front of your face. It makes it easy to see what's going on. Now, a pipeline consists of a variety of columns. And in Pluto, we call these stages. And a stage is simply a way to categorize where a particular contact is in your workflow. Now, one thing that I want to note is that at Pluto, we have built out an entire insurance system. So we have the build out ready to go that we can launch inside your account. And it's going to have pipelines pre-built for sales, for service, renewals, claims, and even recruiting. So you can start from scratch in Pluto, or you can simply reach out to our team and we will load all of our pre-built pipelines for you. If you'd like us to load this in your account, reach out to us today. All right, so you get a better feel for pipelines. I'm going to walk through an example with you. Now, in this example, we're going to look at a potential sales pipeline. And a sales pipeline could be broken up into a variety of different stages like we see here. Now, keep in mind, everything is customizable inside of Pluto, and this is just an example. Whereas this may have 5 stages, you may determine in your agency that you want a prospect to go through 15. It's totally up to you how you set this up. So let's look at the example here. Now in my setup, I would have all new leads flow to this first column. After I've made contact with them, I would just move them over here. Once I've defined their needs, move them over here. See, I'm just kind of moving them through the process here. Now, what this is doing is it's making it very clear all the prospects that I'm working with and what stage of my sales cycle they're in. And behind the scenes, what I have running is automations. I have different automations that are tied to each stage that a prospect is in. So all I'm doing is clicking and dragging, but on the back end, that is triggering a series of messages that are going up to that prospect that makes sense based off the stage they're in. And again, those triggers, those automations, those are all customizable as well. Now inside this pipeline, eventually you're going to get to the point where you either win or lose a deal. How would you process that? If I want to mark a deal as 1, I could just do the thumbs up here, or I could drag it down here to 1. If I lose a deal, just mark it as lost with a thumbs down, or again, I could drag down here to the lost column. Now, Pluto is going to track all this information. So you can create sales goals for yourself, and then marking a deal as won or lost is going to ultimately play into those sales reports. Let's just look at an example. Let's say that we win a deal here. We just closed this one. We'll say we won it. You'll see a screen like this pop up. And now we're going to prompt you to enter some information. We just want to confirm the information associated with your deal to make sure it's accurate. So we'll just call this auto at home and put the close date of market as today. Actually, I'll put it 2 days down the road. And I'm going to just note here the different policies that I sold this person. In this example, I say I sold them an auto policy with Safeco. And we'll say the premium ended up being $3,000. And I sold them a home with Safeco as well. We'll say that one was $4,000. And I could keep going. Maybe I sold them some other products as well. I could keep listing them. But what's happening here is we're going to take the total premium here. That's going to end up calculating the deal value. So I'll go ahead and save it. And now the system has recognized that I just made a sale. And again, that will flow through to my sales reports. So that's what happens if you win a deal. Let's take a look at what happens if you lose a deal. This screen is going to pop up here, and we're going to prompt you to provide Pluto with some information so that we can help you win back this deal in the future. So first off, why did you lose this deal? These are some very common reasons that you may lose a deal, but you can always adjust these drop-down menu items in the settings. So let's just say I lost this due to price. and they went to 21st Century Insurance. Now, at some point in the future, I want to throw them back into a pipeline so I know to reach out to them. In this scenario, I'm going to create a recycle event where I want to recycle this back in my pipeline, and I state the reason as an X date. Now I'm going to push this out, we'll say 5 months. And now on August 18th, this is going to be populated again in one of my pipelines to notify me that I should reach out to that prospect again. I can decide which pipeline that person should be thrown into. I'll just go ahead and throw it in here for now, and what stage they should be in. If you want to update the lead source, once this is thrown back into your pipeline, you can do so. You may want to create something like, call it a recycled lead source. And I could also associate a tag if I wanted to. Now, this is important. You're going to want to add a note. Provide as much information as you're going to need so that when this comes back in your pipeline and Pluto's telling you to reach out to this person, that you know exactly why that's happening. Why are we telling you to reach out to the person? What happened the last time you talked to them? The more information you put here, the better. So I might put something like this, lost this deal due price again at renewal. Something along those lines can at least jog your memory so you have enough info when you reach out to them. Then I'm going to save it. So that is the process of working with leads in your pipeline, eventually get to the point where you either win or you lose a deal. Now let's take a look at how you create new pipelines inside of Pluto and also how you edit existing ones. So let's just say I wanted to create a brand new pipeline. I could come over here and say new pipeline. Pluto is going to prompt you to give it a name. We'll call this pipeline old leads. Maybe I want to have a pipeline that just manages all the old leads that I never won. You're going to choose to save it as either global or my pipeline. I'm going to make this global, letting me know that we don't have any stages yet. And so now I can come in here and decide, what are those stages going to be inside the system? Just to make this easy, I won't even edit it. I'll just keep it stage 1, 2, 3. And then you can choose a color for each stage. Maybe you want this stage bright green. You want this one red. And you want this one blue. If you want to add additional stages, you could do so. Save it. And so this is the pipeline that we've created. How would you start adding deals to this pipeline? You can hit the little plus sign right over here, or click it right over here. Now let's look at how you would edit an existing pipeline. We'll just go right back into this one here, and I'm going to hit the edit icon. And maybe I decided, I just don't like this color. I'm going to change it. Maybe we want it like that. Maybe I want to change it to stage 4. Edit that. Maybe we want to change the color of the text that appears on the pipeline, or I want to change the background color, or maybe I just want to delete it. It's going to prompt me to say if I have any deals in that stage before I delete it. Do I want to move them? So pretty straightforward. Maybe you want to change the title of it. You can do that too. Then you're good to go. So very easy to create your own customizable pipelines. But again, I encourage you to reach out to our team and have us preload the system for you. Next up, let's talk about the differences between a global pipeline and a my pipeline. So you see when you're creating pipelines, we have both. So what's the difference? A global pipeline is something that's really designed to be worked as a team. So inside an insurance agency, let's say you have a team of 5 people. Well, everyone can share that same pipeline. And then when you have the ability to do, when you get this page, if you just want to see your own leads on that pipeline, select your name. If you want to see everyone, select that. Maybe you just want to see Jeff and Michael Jordan's leads. Select that. So it's one shared pipeline, but you can ultimately decide what you want to see on here. And what you can and cannot see inside of the system is going to be based off of your permission levels. That is global pipelines. What's a My Pipeline? A My Pipeline is something that you could create on an individual basis. If there is an agent on your team that just wants to create a unique pipeline that only exists inside their login and is not tied to any other users in the platform, they could build it out in My Pipeline. The most common scenario, however, is going to be that you build out global pipelines that all the agents on your team share. The last thing I'll show you before I end this video is our sales dialer feature. Now, you may have noticed that there's a little phone icon up here. And what that allows you to do is to take any stage, grab those contacts, and throw them into the Pluto sales dialer. And this is going to allow you to create a dialing campaign where you reach out to all of these people on the stage, one after another, to quickly follow up with them. So I threw a lot at you in this step, going through the pipelines. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to our team.